we're here at Trinity Skate Park, or I think it's a plaza, considered a plaza. So we're going to go back to warming up, right? The topic of making sure that you ease into a flow state. We're skating a different park, something that is a bit outside of what I'm used to, just because of how the skate park is laid out, right? And so for that reason, going back to previous videos, I've talked about how you got to take your time adjusting yourself to the skate park. And so you can approach this by hitting obstacles throughout it. You can approach it by making sure you are just rolling around, and you get a good feeling of the dimensions of the obstacles, or even just the angles of the ramps. That way you understand, you know, whether or not you need to really warm up a bit more, or how much you need to ease in to the flow state. So right now I'm gonna start by just doing 50s, manis, maybe a board slide if it's waxed enough. I still haven't even done anything aside from that mani that you just saw. And so
Mani 50
that you just saw. And so for that reason, we're gonna take, you know, I'm gonna give myself mentally like five minutes, right? And see how I feel after those 5 minutes. But during this, I want to think about, or what I'm thinking about, and what I would encourage you to think about as you're warming up, is how can I set myself up to slowly build a special meter, right? So if you've ever played skate games, or maybe even Tony Hawk Pro Skater, maybe that's the only one that has it, as you land tricks, you're slowly building up your meter, so that once you build it up fully, you're able to do something a bit more rewarding, right? Like a cooler trick, so to speak. So we're just going to do 50s. Let's do a frontside 50. Go slow, right? A little kick turn, little backside 50. Roll on. Get nollie off. Oh, okay. So right there, I didn't react the way I thought, and so I might just, as I'm going back to that obstacle, do a little nollie on flat, right? That felt a little weird. I need to make sure I wake up that ability to do nollies, right? And so I might just like nollie roll in, right? Go for it again. So we're gonna continue. I feel a little woken up, maybe because it's hot. You also got to think about if you let yourself wake up already physically, and you're able to do certain tricks. So for instance, if I just got straight out of bed and came to the skate park, this process might take way more than 5 minutes. It's just really contextual to how you're able to how fast you're able to warm up, right? So we're just taking, what's up?
I was gonna say, what's the intention of
the intention is to get it for the warm up.
Yeah.
Oh, to get into a flow state. The reason being is because we want to make sure we get the most out of our session. And if we just go straight for the knockout first minute into the skate park, you're risking such a big letdown, because most of the time we're just not built like that. We gotta slowly ramp ourselves up to, what's up?
Not built like that.
Yeah, we're not built like that. We have to slowly, you know, we slowly ramp ourselves up to getting into that flow state. Many times people explain getting into the flow state as like it's just a switch, but if you take a look at how what they're doing, their actions, you can see that they're building themselves up, right? Whether you're competing, whether you're gonna have a good session at the skate park, or you might just be wanting to learn a new trick. So how that looks like, if you're trying to learn a new trick, you know, let's say I want to do, which will end up, right? And that's when I'll know I'm in the flow state. I'm gonna do a kickflip mani, kickflip out, right? On where I did the manual. Chances are, or there's been days where I get to the skate park and I can do that first try, but that doesn't mean that I'm trying to force that, right? I want to let that ability slowly slowly get to the point where I can do that trick. So I'm going to just kickflip on there with the intention to eventually do kickflip Manny, kickflip out, and I'm slowly getting myself there.
Oh.
That was actually a great example of what it means to making sure you get used to the obstacles, or a great example of a reason why it's important to, you know, feel out the obstacles, because on this obstacle, flipping on is not simply just kick flipping on, because you're limited with the space you have to do the kickflip, right? So you got to make sure, I have to make sure I'm super precise, where when I land, I'm not tilting to my toe side or tilting to the heel side. And so that feedback I got, because I was like tilting, or I was like trying to be force that stability, is, oh wow, maybe I need to warm up with some flat ground kickflips, or just kickflips around the park as I before I go for another one, right? Just to allow myself to build that special meter, instead of just getting frustrated and letting that hurt my ego and just going straight for the battle, right?
Or even an ollie on top.
Or even a, huh? Well, I mean, yeah, but I already manual.
No, I know.
Yeah, so ollie would be a great way to also approach that. That's if I just tried it right away, because I already manualed it. So I already know the ollie's not the issue. It's making sure I'm stable on the roll away, right?
Yeah.
Or even on the pop. Here, kickflip. I'm gonna do 10. You see how my heels landed on there?
Yeah.
So that shows me my kickflip needs some warming up. That one was a little better. I'm gonna just stay there. Okay, that one was good.
Yeah, that was good.
So now that I felt that, now I have a better sense of what I need to do to get over, to get into a kickflip where I'm going straight instead of landing, tilting to the right or to the left. So we're gonna give it another try. Actually, let me do one more. Yeah, so I feel woken up. Let me just go back to the kickflip onto the ledge. Right?
Oh.
So I definitely landed very engaged. I think I let the narrowness get to me because of that speed. Sometimes it's not as easy to identify what went wrong. You blame the pop, you blame the obstacle itself, but you want to see it as a challenge, as a fun game to understand where you can improve. So that tells me I can improve my kickflips with going fast and landing narrow.
Precise.
For being precise with my kickflip, because clearly right here everything's set up perfectly where I have enough speed, it's not too high. The biggest challenge is being precise with that kickflip, because it's not just that I have a lot of space. Right at the moment I'm not physically capable, because when I did the kickflip I landed like kind of like this, and I swerved into position. And so it's clearly not just a mental. A mental would have been if I flipped, landed perfect, and was like, oh my God, that felt so scary. You know what I mean?
I'm saying that could happen to someone.
That could happen, yeah. And so for that reason, you want to slowly, you know, adapt to that stimulus. And so maybe just because I can land the kickflip onto this, it doesn't mean I should go kickflip Manny. I should fine tune that ability to flip on there with a bit more precision. But because I know I went too fast already, let me not start with the drop in, but instead kick turn and get just a little less speed on it, on the approach, right? That was much better, right? That was much better, and chances are I may not be ready for it, but I'm going in the right direction. And let's say this becomes so much of a challenge that it starts to get a little frustrating. Let yourself like get away from that situation, that context, and place yourself in a situation where you're allowed to build on top of that special meter. And so that may mean just doing faster kick flips. That may mean just skating other obstacles. And so right now, something I would want to do is just a backside 50-50 across the whole ledge, right? My attempt right now isn't to do it all the way or to force myself to go all the way. It's just to get away from this challenge because I can feel that it may be frustrating. Just fixating on that, especially if I'm warming up, right? It's important not to get into battles as soon as you get to the skate park because that can set the tone and not the best one for the rest of the session. And we gotta understand and be patient with ourselves, you know, have some self-awareness to take ourselves away from what is going to end up being a battle if we stay there, right? Because that's how it's feeling. Okay, so that was actually very smooth, felt good. I think I can make it all the way, but again, we're not trying to force it to go all the way. I'm slowly warming up to the obstacle. This is fun. It's warming up. I can do backside 50s, so let's continue. Oh, I heel locked on that one. I'm gonna go again.
Oi.
Okay, and that's why we don't want to force the trick, right? I'm not trying to go fast if I still not adapted to the obstacle. It's important not to, again, go into a challenge. See that situation as an opportunity to ask the question, why that happened? This can be done as you're going back for the trick. And sometimes it's, you understand you just weren't as engaged as you thought. Other times you were a bit too far when you went to for the 50. And this is something that is different or contextual to the skater. So you have to practice building that self-awareness so that when you come across a situation like that where you miss an easy trick, you don't go into frustration. You just are, patient and start asking questions that are productive instead of being frustrated and leaning into being counterproductive. So we're gonna go again.
It reminds me, in another video you mentioned that sometimes the rules of warming up can be broken because you're having fun. So it won't even, when you're having fun, it won't allow you to get so frustrated.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, interesting. Like, it's perspective at the end of the day, but if you feel yourself getting frustrated, step away. And that's why I stepped away from the kickflip, because I wouldn't say I felt frustrated, but I also felt very unsafe, insecure, anxious, those feelings. And so I was like, let me take a step back and go to this 50. This 50 is more of a fun challenge that doesn't get me into a fight or flight state. And so it's that stress response, and I'm able to still kind of be very calm as I do this trick. Here we go. I think I got 2 more. And then if I miss the next 2, then I think, it's best if I just kind of table it for a little towards the end of the warm-up. The fact that happened in the middle of the 50 and I kind of extended was very telling. And it tells me my disengagement issue, thing, isn't as warmed up, because I got on there and I had a fear response to just disengage. But that's okay, right? Feedback is good, and the feedback I took was I need to make sure I'm more awake. My body wasn't able to apply those good concept, like staying engaged on my through the hips, right? And so I might want to do it again, just to pretty much rewire or help myself rewire that ability to hinge at the hips. What happened?
I said imprint.
Imprint. Yeah, like you really want to stamp that feeling, that concept into when you're applying it, right? You want to incorporate that into
Would you say like
application.
Leaving it on a good note?
Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah, you could leave this like on a good note, especially because I know it's not a scary spot. It's just a little hiccup I had. So I want to leave it on a good note. It's kind of like when you do a kickflip, right? Or an ollie. Let's say you ollie, and like, whoa, I didn't like how that pop felt. So you kind of, are just a bit more intentional, and you feel like, okay, cool, that was good. I'm okay with that. That's a good note. That's similar to what I want to accomplish with this backside 50-50. Do it on a good note.
Oh. Looks like you straightened out again.
Sometimes it looks like you did the same thing, but what you want to prioritize as far as what you're trying to find is the feeling. And that's something internal, like intrinsic. And so that backside 50-50, I felt my core and my head over this foot. The other one, it felt like I was kind of fighting it to stay over. And so even though I looked extended, it felt like I was very engaged. And so that's a big win. Forcing yourself to get super low or just do things where they look super flawless is not being patient with yourself, and most of the time counterproductive to the progression, to your own progression, because you can't rush a process, right? You have to take your time, and maybe that is the next try, or maybe it's next week. Regardless, you want to go in there with the intention to look for the small wins, and that was a small win itself. Just that feeling I had where my core was engaged, my head was over that foot, and I was able to look at that so that I can stabilize myself. I felt on that backside 50-50, I felt very anchored because of where my eyesight was and how I was positioned. Even though I was extended, I was here instead of with the other one. I kind of like raised my arms a bit more. So again, a big win. Felt fun. I think I'm gonna do another one. But if I miss it, we're just gonna move on. Like I said, I'm not trying to force a perfect backside 50-50. That 1% better idea, I want to apply it here.
Oh.
I'm feeling woken up. Right? At this point, I feel like I'm a little more tuned in to the session. And so I'm not at the flow state yet because I haven't really tried any tricks that I'm like, oh, damn, that's kind of cool. I feel good. Or that confirm that I feel good. Some tricks like that would be doing like crook, backside big spin, switch flip off of this. And so we're going to do those tricks. A crook, I'm going to do a crook on this right here.
She's doing this. Got this.
Oh, like this over.
Yeah. Oh no.
I need
wax. Yeah.
That was so bad. Okay, I'm gonna just do a switch flip off of this little
twister.
Yeah. Oh. So definitely not good. Again, just like that kick flip, I wanna make sure I get them good on flat first. Just because it gives me feedback of, okay, what am I not doing? What do I need to do? Okay, you see? Am I tired? Did I not get a good sleep? What's going on? Am I rushing myself? It's not happening.
Your shoulders?
My shoulders, am I not opened up to the direction I'm going?
Oh.
Maybe it's that, we'll see. Yeah. Stabilize. Yeah. I think it's because I did that 180 on a bit faster.
Your reflexes.
My reflexes are still warming up to where they should be. That's what I should have done first.
Oh.
That 180 was not good, but
If I would have missed that one, I think I would have gone like the switch of, okay, start getting frustrated.
Yeah.
would have started. But that's sometimes that's the gamble, right? And not to say you want to gamble like that, but it's it's the situation we find ourselves in, right? And so if you find yourself gambling with that frustration versus curiosity perspective as you're trying tricks, make sure you're building that that ability to take yourself out of the situation or take a step back. And the step back would be 180 switch ollie, right? Or it would be, how about I don't even ollie on there, right? I just kind of, I roll into the switch flip. What if I just roll in, give myself time?
Oh my god. That would look not good.
Actually, we'll make that one harder.
Yeah.
And this is good. This is good. What made it harder is that I was going front side into it.
Oh yeah.
So I had to turn and then readjust.
And that's something that lets you know you're not super centered on
Well,
switch.
I'm not centered. That's something I can work on. Just because I can land switch flips 10 out of 10 times off of this on good days, I might want to test myself and go at it front side, go at it back side, you know, different variations of it, so you can have yourself challenged in many situations, so that when you go to the street spot or a different skate park, you're stress tested. You know, you have the capability of doing that trick, in this case the switch flip, in many different situations or, you know, approaches, right? So we're gonna switch up the approach just so that we can take a step back, and I'm just gonna approach it in a direct manner, right?
Oh no.
Honestly, I just felt myself gas out before I even popped. I needed to take a little break between the talk.
Yeah,
That's
what I was thinking.
I think I rushed myself. I can say, oh yeah, I leaned back, but why did I lean back? I was fatigued. I couldn't engage, you know? So, here we go.
Oh, that looked good though. Like it was not rocket.
No, it wasn't rock. I definitely snapped it, but again, I just had enough energy to snap it. And then I just my body froze. I don't know if you noticed, but my feet kind of stopped the board from flipping. And I also kind of closed off on that one.
Maybe you need to inhale, exhale.
Take a deep breath.
Oh.
We're still warming up, and I'm feeling like I'm going into some sort of flow state. So let's go back to the kickflip Manny and see how that goes. That felt weird. I'm just joking. It didn't feel weird, but I did rush myself. I just want to make sure I take a breath, reset before I go for it. I kind of rushed into it, you know? So right here. This one, I predict, is going to be the kickflip Manny because of how I'm feeling, right? I feel awake, I feel lazy, or like I'm kind of leaning towards the back. So we'll see.
Oh. Took a little risk, huh?
Yeah. Well, so okay, just because I landed it, it doesn't mean challenge complete. As if you rewind, you're gonna see that when I landed the manual, I landed on my heel, and then I brought it back. So this is where a lot of skaters can rob themselves from progression and
not
growth.
leave on a good note.
They don't leave on a good note, and they don't look for the opportunity to learn, even get 1% better. So maybe it's not about being perfect and landing like perfectly on there, but it's about getting those toes to come in little by little. So we're gonna do it again because I want to make sure I'm leaving on a good note, right? Why do you say I took a risk, or what? Because I
Kickflip out.
Oh, okay.
Like kickflip in, kickflip out.
Yeah, I felt it's because it was long enough.
Yeah.
This is where some self-awareness comes in, right? Like, if it was a shorter Manny, I would have not went for it because there's just no point. I'm warming up to it, you know? No one's filming me. It's not a challenge. It's not a competition. I'm okay. Let me work on good habits.
You said no one's filming you.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you feel pressure. Oh, yeah. No one's filming me for Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, there's no...
Or street part.
Or street part. And
skate part.
you know, sometimes you're in a situation where like, okay, it doesn't matter how it comes out, I need to land it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're not in that environment. And so there's no need to put that unnecessary pressure, because when it comes down to building good habits, it's not good to build a habit of always needing to be so stressed or in a fight or flight state to land tricks. You know, that's how you get addicted to caffeine. That's how you get addicted to getting frustrated or like psyching yourself up or listening to loud music. And all of that stuff is good until it's something that you depend on. So you don't want to depend on that. And here we go, another fine tune attack. Oh, okay. See how my toes are hanging out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. I rushed that. I was gonna rush it. That specific trick. Even that itself, switch ollie on, is a challenge because I have to be super precise.
Yeah.
So it wasn't clean, but I definitely slowed everything down. You know, I was a bit more patient with my adjustment in the middle. So I landed with my toes off. I adjusted so much more controlled, and that's a big win. Well, it's not really a big one. It's just like 1%, but that's a lot. A lot of skaters, a lot of us want to be dismissive of the little wins, and that was the little win where I adjusted in a controlled manner compared to the one I just did before, right? The one I landed. We are looking for one where, I mean, we already got it. There's an improvement there, and that's what you want to recognize. But I think I got 5 more attempts, and we'll see what I get from those 5 more attempts. Because at this point, I'm warmed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the intention, to warm up.
Oh.
I was going at it like
Angled?
The angle was off. Yeah, that's 2. Also, you don't want the one to be deciding. You want your actions to be deciding if you're warmed up or not. So if it takes you the whole session, the whole hour or 2 hours to do very basic tricks, then so be it. You know what I mean? But if you start to feel good within, you know, whenever the warm-ups finish, that shows you, you know, that feedback is telling you, okay, you can go for other tricks. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a session where there's no need to, you know, film a trick. It's a little different if you're a professional skater. You kind of have to rough it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a job. You have to figure it out that day, or at least that pressure's on you many ways. But if you're someone who is prioritizing progression, you don't want to be rushing yourself to learn a trick when your body doesn't feel comfortable enough to challenge itself, or even to just absorb the things you might be needing to learn as you go for that trick.
Yeah.
Because I know of many skaters, they share the sentiment that they try a trick over and over for 3 hours, and then the next day they're like starting from ground zero. And that's because they're the whole time in a state where they can't absorb any of that feedback so that it can be productive the next
session.
session.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, they're in a fight or flight. You're like, nah, get away, information, get away. You know, have you ever had a friend try to help you or give you a tip and you're like, oh, okay, whatever, like you don't even know nothing? That's because you're in a fight or flight and you're not going to be open to that information. Same thing with just your own trial and error and feedback mechanisms. You're not going to be able to absorb any of that. So again, don't rush it. Don't lean into that frustration, but instead take a step back, go into more of a patience and take more of an introspective approach with patience. I think I took a good break. We'll see if that was good or bad. So I gone into the grind. I honestly kind of pushed forward, like pushed my foot instead of just popping down. So I asked myself, was that because I was fatiguing? Was that because I was too extended? What was that, right? And so on this next one, if I find myself in a similar situation where I'm rushing myself so that I can adjust, let me just take a step back, okay? I waited too long. I try to get lower, engage more, and I just had a delay because of that, you know? So here, I'm gonna get lower before I approach the obstacle. So I'm gonna stay low on the turn. Okay. At this point, this is starting to be a battle. I'm a little more in a flow state, so I get to decide, do I wanna keep trying this trick as I go into the middle session of my warm-up, which is like a flow state kind of section, or do I want to disperse that energy and still try other tricks like I just did here, a tray flip, right? Yeah. So right now at this point, because of how I'm feeling, I have the rest of the time here to kind of enjoy, and I'm not filming it. I'm just gonna go and skate the park, enjoy the park. That was bad.
Oh. Oh, I think that was good. Do it again though.
Wait, what's up?
I think that was good, but do it again. I didn't expect you to pop that high. Okay. You got a little too
No. Dude, I was surprised with the first one right, because of that.
Yeah.
Right here. Okay, I'm definitely analyzing it a bit too much.
Yeah. Just naturally.
I'm how do I say this? I'm trying to think about, you know, how do I pop more controlled, because the first one kind of felt like an accident. Yeah. You know, I didn't go in there with the intention to do such a big kickflip, you know, and it felt that way. I don't know if it was actually big, but it felt that way. And so now, as for the next few tries, I kind of was in a analytical state, but not really giving myself time, maybe like 5 seconds, 10 seconds to process, you know, what I need to do, what I need to apply, so that I can have it feeling like something that I'm intentional about, you know what I mean? So a deep breath, and like 5-10 seconds. Oh!
Jeez.
You know what I just realized is I'm a little hesitant because that ledge is behind me.
Yeah.
So right here on this next one, I'm just going to be a bit more intentional about going slightly towards this right side instead of my heel side. So when I land, as long as I'm low and on my toe side, I should be good. Just giving myself that feedback And being intentional about that is giving me so much more confidence to do this kickflip. Oh!
Jeez.
I popped too late on that one. And what is that barrier, you know, what is blocking you in a way from landing the trick? Is it the fatigue? Is it something about the setup is, you know, kind of in the back of your head and it's not allowing you to focus? Or is it your setup? It could be your setup. Or is it just not your day?
Or maybe you're analyzing it too much.
Yeah, or maybe you're just being paralyzed by the analysis. So it's okay to kind of, for one, take your time, take a breather, and also take a step back and just skate the park, get a bit more. Again, do some kick flips, do a kickflip on the way back. All right, right here. So on that one, I just pretty much toned it back too much. You know what I mean? I wanted to I wanted to reduce the pressure I felt, partly because I was analyzing it a bit too much, but I overkilled it. You know what I mean? So on this next one, something that I wasn't really considering is, you know, making sure that I'm a bit quicker on my takeoff because I'm going faster. Even though this seems like I have a lot of room to pop, I need to be super intentional about doing a quick pop so it can be timed perfectly. So let's say, you know, let's say that just always in the way. I want to make sure I get comfortable with that angle, okay? So if I don't do kickflips, I could do ollies, 180s, just get super used to skating this obstacle, okay? So I'm gonna do one more kickflip, and if I miss it, I'm gonna run through some tricks so I can get a bit more adapted to this obstacle right here.
Ooh.
Is that better? All right. So a lot of times the inclination is to get fixated on tricks, but we're trying to progress. So if that means taking a step back and doing 180s, ollies, nollie, whatever it is before flipping the board and making it a bit more challenging, like adding speed, you want to be able to have that awareness and take a step back, because like I said, we don't want to get stuck on one trick. It's about understanding how to overcome that challenge. And if you don't know how to overcome that challenge with a kick flip, take a step back, learn how to overcome that challenge with so much more pressure is lifted off my shoulders,
and you gain a lot of confidence.
and I gain a lot of confidence I gain confidence as I build that comfort with this obstacle, right? So you want to build the relationship with the obstacle.
Maybe do a simple line before you
Simple line?
end the video.
Okay. If you're interested in coaching or lessons, hit me up at profe.carlos. Or you're gonna be on this side?
Yeah, because
Okay. It's about the process, not the goal, right? So, having said that, check out the membership, how that might work for you. Lives, we go on it mostly every day now, thanks to Brian. Yeah, leave a comment, leave a question, and I'll get back to them as soon as you can. You don't remember? I just said it. That was the first thing I said.
You didn't say, I thought you didn't say profe.
I did. Right, guys? I did. Let me just do kickflip. Let me attempt a kickflip nose mania.
Oh, do the line. Oh.
Okay, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, hit me up at profe.carlos. Check out the lives, memberships. Leave some questions and comments. And we'll see you in the next video. Trinity Skate Plaza.